Hi, my name is Emerson, and today I have a lesson about Python. But before we begin programming, we need to learn a little bit about the language itself. So what is Python? Python is a programming language that focuses on code readability, which is how easy the code is to look at and say, okay, I understand what this does. It's also dynamically typed, which means that a variable can be used as a number, a list, or a string of words whenever we want. Python also focuses on ease of use, which is how easy it is to jump into a new project. On the right, we can see the Zen of Python, which is a list of rules that the creator thought of. It goes, Zen of Python by Tim Peters. Beautiful is better than ugly. Explicit is better than implicit. Simple is better than complex. Complex is better than complicated. Flat is better than nested. Sparse is better than dense. Readability counts. Special cases aren't special enough to break the rules. Although practicality beats purity. Errors should never pass silently unless explicitly silenced. In the face of ambiguity, refuse the temptation to guess. There should be one, and preferably only one, obvious way to do it. Although that way may not be obvious at first unless you're Dutch. Now is better than ever, although never is often better than right now. If the implementation is hard to explain, it's a bad idea. If the implementation is easy to explain, it may be a good idea. Namespaces are one honking great idea, let's do more of those. These are good rules to live by, and you are always encouraged to follow these rules while programming in Python. Next, we need to look at some reasons why someone should use Python versus all the other programming languages that exist. Well, the use of Python has been growing rapidly over the years, and it doesn't look like it's stopping. Python is extremely easy as a beginner as well, as the syntax is very simple compared to other languages that enforce many rules. Because of this, it is being used in fields such as artificial intelligence, neural networks, and big data. So now that we have a little background on the language, we can begin with our first program. To program, I'm going to be using a website called EduBlocks, which is an online web-based Python editor. It's based on Scratch, which makes the transition from block-based programming to Python very easy. To start, we will begin with a simple Hello World program, which is a good test to see that everything is set up correctly. To do that, I will be going to the Statements tab and selecting the print block. Note that there is one with quotation marks in it and one that's not. These are different, as I will show later, and for now we want to pick the one with the quotation marks. So let's drag that up onto the main stage and click the green Run button up in the corner. A new screen will pop up that says Hello World on it. If we exit out of that, now go back to our block, and let's change it to say hello and then my name. Again, we can click Run and see the results change. See, it now says Hello Emerson. The print block is a very important block that will be used a lot throughout our programming. It's a good way for the program to give us feedback of when certain lines of code run, or to interact with the user. So now let's focus on the difference between the two print blocks. Let's drag the second one out under our current print block. Inside of both of these, let's type the math equation 2 plus 2. We know that 2 plus 2 equals 4, so we should expect these to print the number 4, right? Let's click the Run button to figure out what happens. You can see the first time it printed 2 plus 2, and the second time it printed 4. Why is this? Well, the quotation marks on the first block mean print exactly what we type, whereas without the quotation marks, it'll actually calculate the equation. This is useful for when you want to print a variable and not just the variable name itself. This brings up a good topic about data types. Simply, data types are different ways that computers store things. Common data types in Python. Common data types in Python are strings, numbers, and booleans, which are true and false. Like I mentioned at the beginning, Python is dynamically typed, meaning that a variable can be set to a number, but you can change it to a string or a boolean anytime throughout the program. Now you might be wondering, well, what is a variable? A variable is a method to store data that can be used multiple times throughout the program without having to repeat code. Let's go ahead and add a variable. Note that I'm going to be putting it at the very beginning of my program. Go ahead and create a variable, and let's call this my_name. I'm going to drag this out. I'm going to set this equal to my name. We can now use the variable block and drag that into our print statements. Now let's go ahead and run this and see if it works like we think. You can see there was an error. Let's see what's causing this. If I click the word blocks under run, it'll give us the raw Python code to look at. On this screen, you can see that my name does not have any quotation marks around it, meaning that Python is expecting my name to be another variable. To fix this, all we need to do is add some quotes around it. Now if we run it again, we can see, we can see it prints out the name of the variable itself, my_name, and then it prints my name, which is what we set the variable to. When we put quotation marks around a word, it's called a string. A string is a list of individual characters and can be manipulated in many ways. One way is by using what we call methods. The first of these methods is capitalize. I'm going to change some blocks around so that we can use it. First, we can delete the print block that has the quotes, because we aren't going to be printing a string anymore. Next, I'm going to delete the variable block from within the print. Now we can type in whatever we want. In our case, we want to type in my name dot capitalize. Now when we run this, it should look exactly the same as before. Just says Emerson with the first letter capitalized. The reason for this is because capitalize just capitalizes the first letter. Ours already is capitalized, so it won't change anything. So let's make it lowercase. And run it again. You can see that now Python capitalizes the first letter of the string. This is handy for when you get user input and want to format it nicely. Some other string functions include .title, which capitalizes the first letter of every word in a string. So if we have the sentence, Emerson is cool, change capitalize to title. When we run now, it should capitalize the first letter of every word. Capital E, capital I, capital C. Additionally, there are methods like .upper, which makes the string all uppercase. There are many more functions like these. A list of all the string methods can be found by searching for Python string methods. Here's a list of many of the Python string methods, including some of the ones we've already used, such as capitalize, lower, which is the opposite of upper, makes it all lowercase, title, and upper. In the next episode, we will be talking about taking user input so you can interact with the program. Thank you for watching.